Welcome to another time of Wisdom with the Millers. We're starting back on that series again to finish it out because this book has a lot of really good information in it. Let me get a drink real quick. The sun is bright and beating down, and I might just slide a little bit to the left so I don't have it shining directly in my eye so I can see better to read. Our next chapter is chapter 14 in Wisdom in the Millers. This chapter is a soft answer, and boy, oh boy, couldn't we all use a reminder to give a soft answer. The verse that will be used today is from Proverbs 15, verse 1. And now let's hear what the Miller story has to say. The older Miller children were at school, and Laura and Timmy were playing together in the living room. Timmy was building a cabin of Lincoln logs, while little Laura had begun struggling for several minutes to build a block tower. It took a lot of effort and concentration for her little chubby fingers to pile up more than a few without letting them fall. Carefully she set one block on top of another, then one more. The tower teetered a bit, but stayed upright. "Timmy, look!" she crowed triumphantly. "I made big stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks." Timmy laid down the log he was just ready to use and turned around to see. But as he was turning, his sleeve brushed the top of the fragile tower, and crash! The blocks all came tumbling down, and Laura let out a wail of disappointment. "You bad boy, Timmy!" she cried, her blue eyes clouded with the sudden anger of the very young, and she jumped to her feet, huffing and puffing with wrath. Her chubby fists were all ready to beat upon her brother. Only quick action could save Timmy now. Ducking away from her threatening blows, he said quickly, "I'm sorry, Laura. I didn't mean to wreck it. I'll build you a bigger one right away with 10 blocks." The anger faded from Laura's face as suddenly as it had come, and she sat down with a thump. "Okay, Timmy," she told him eagerly, 10 blocks. Mom hurried in from the kitchen just in time to see Timmy head off the threatening fire. Quietly she watched as Timmy constructed the promised 10-block tower and admired it when it was done. Then she called the children over to sit on the couch with her. "Timmy," she said lovingly, "you are very wise to be a peacemaker and avoid trouble like that. The Bible says that a soft answer turneth away wrath, and that's what you did. You turned away Laura's anger and saved both you from a nasty fire. But Laura," Mom went on, "you must not get so angry. You are 3 years old now, a big girl. You must learn to control yourself and not be so easily upset." That evening, the first verse Dad read in devotions was Proverbs 15:1. "A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger." Timmy's eyes lit up as he recognized the words. He grinned at Mom, and she smiled back. "Children, let's think about this first verse," Dad said when he finished reading the passage he had chosen. Verse 1 teaches us an important principle for getting along with other people. To live in peace, we need to be willing to give a soft answer. If we have offended someone, a soft and humble apology will usually make things right. When we have an argument or difference of opinion with someone, we also need to answer softly and humbly, even though we may be sure that we are right. People who are proud and stubborn will answer with grievous words, and that only makes the problem worse. Grievous words stir up anger. Your grandpa likes to tell a story to illustrate this verse, Dad went on. It happened one day when he was driving in another state, far from home. Darkness was falling just as he entered the outskirts of a town. Suddenly, the red flashes of a police car flared up behind him. Grandpa was being stopped, and he didn't know why. Carefully, he pulled over to one side of the unfamiliar road and shut off his engine. Nervously, he waited while the officer in the car behind him wrote down Grandpa's license number and prepared his papers. At last, the door of the patrol car opened, and out stepped the biggest, angriest looking policeman Grandpa had ever seen. He stalked over to the window, shined a flashlight into Grandpa's eyes, demanded to see his license plate. Politely, Grandpa handed him the car. The officer looked it over and then angrily told Grandpa that he had driven too fast. He swore, meaning he used a curse word, calling Grandpa a number of bad names as he ranted about careless people who don't bother to obey the law. You were going 35 miles an hour in a place where you should have been going 25, he shouted. Now, do you have any excuses? Remember, a soft answer turneth away wrath. The words flashed through Grandpa's mind. No, I have no excuses, he answered humbly. I must have been careless. I didn't see the 25 miles an hour sign. I'm very sorry, and I'll pay my fine. For a moment longer, the angry officer stared at the meek face of the preacher. Then the anger faded from his eyes. He sighed, removed his hat, and wiped the sweat from his forehead. You'll have to excuse me for getting so worked up, he said in a calmer tone. We've just had 2 wrecks here today. Really bad ones. A drunk driver and some foolish kids, tearing around, no respect for the law. Some innocent people were killed, and I'm still upset about it. He handed back Grandpa's license. I can see you didn't intend to be speeding, he said, so I won't give you a ticket. Drive carefully now, and have a good trip. And he waved Grandpa on. Grandpa often uses this incident for an example. How differently it could have turned out if he had argued or spoken rudely back to the officer. He would certainly have been forced to pay a fine and might even have ended up in jail for resisting the law. Proverbs 15:1 is such an important verse. I want all you children to memorize it if you haven't already. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. And if you haven't memorized that, you should do so too. Proverbs 15:1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So remember that. Have a soft answer to turn away wrath. And I'm going to give you an example of my own life that I had that same experience. Early on, when I was younger, I don't know how old I was, late teens, early 20s, I used to teach group exercise, aerobics. And I was teaching step aerobics. And in this particular class, I had finished the class, and an elderly woman came up to me, angry, very angry, just vile. And she said some choice cuss words to me, but the bottom line was that she was saying I couldn't have picked any worse music to play for this class than what I had chosen. Now, instead of being offended and upset about what she had to say and being cussed at, I said, oh, I'm sorry you didn't like the music. What kind of music do you like? Well, that didn't get her softened yet because she was still upset. And she, basically had her feathers ruffled. And she said, well, I bet you don't have the kind of music I like. And I said, well, what kind do you like? Because I have a wide variety of music. And she said she liked beach music. So that's, kind of like shagging music, if you know that kind of dance. It's like slow jitterbug. Goes on a lot like in the Carolinas and that kind of thing. And I said, you know what? I actually have a CD, a step aerobic CD with beach music in it. And next time you're in my class, please come up to me when you come in before I get started and remind me that you like beach music, and I'd be happy to put that in for you today. And the woman's countenance completely changed, and she smiled, and she was no longer angry. But it changed that whole situation of anger and hostility into a nice situation. And she thanked me for that and said that she would do that next time. So that's just a simple example. And it's not even like a biblical example. It's just giving people common courtesy. Until next time, you have a wonderful day. And remember, a soft answer does turn away wrath, but angry words stir up conflict. So give a soft answer and not grievous words, because you don't want to stir up wrath or anger. Until next time, you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.